class 4. So when we are start coding on with TypeScript, so definitely every TypeScript documentations or understanding you can learn from this handbook section, and this is the very easiest way to learn about uh, TypeScript, mostly which is our
I'm not able to see your screen.
oh, you cannot see, you did not see my screen. Please, I already shared my screen. Did do you see?
No, come on.
Okay, so I try once again to share my screen. Please check it.
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. So this is my this is our official website, and from typescriptlang.org, and here is the handbook section, and from this section you can learn about the TypeScript and TypeScript functionality. But basically, as per your .NET developer, you are always start working uh, from class mostly, right?
Yes,
Because if you are writing any kind of code, so your code always start from the any kind of class. Mostly that class name will be main class, right?
yes, yes, yes.
But here is not necessary to start from main or main class. It depends on up to your coding structure or your process. Okay, here have no that's kind of restrictions which have in .NET platform. But why we are working TypeScript? TypeScript is the basically give us proper structure and proper uh, documentations where we can get all the details and all the process very easily. So basically thing is we have some regular types of regular data types, which is like string, number, boolean. This is the regular data types. Sometimes we can use array, and if you don't know what kind of data type you need to be use, so that time you can be used as any. Okay, so this is the way which this kind of data types we can use easily when we are declaring any kind of variables, right?
Yeah,
Because last time when we are talk about, so there I did not have so much talked about the uh, basic variable or data type declarations process. I think I'm not declaring so many things. So
okay.
basically, today I will talk about mainly TypeScript fundamentals mostly. Okay, so funda TS. So basically, fundamental of TS. So basically, thing is every time when we are writing uh, with when we are write TypeScript thing. So basically, this particular name, this file name is not necessary to use uh, uh, like main.ts or whatever. So if we want to choose is main, then it's okay. If you don't want to use it main, then it's uh, uh, not required to use the main directly. Okay, so
Understood.
you can use any kind of file name for starting, and actually your application start from any kind of file name whichever you want. But basically when we start TypeScript language, so last time I just set up, I was set up the download section, and then I set up maybe global download for TypeScript compiler. I globally downloaded it in the last class, I think. So if we need to confirmation TypeScript compiler is available or not, so just we can use this particular command and then enter, and we can confirm it, this particular compiler is available in our system or not. If it is available, then it's okay. Otherwise, if not available, then we need to be set up it is with globally. Otherwise, we can use it locally also. So I can describe it very other way, but at this moment, we if we want to write any TypeScript code, and that TypeScript code will be compiled first with the TypeScript tsc command, and that after compilation, that our code that will be produced in the JavaScript code, and that JavaScript code can be run with the node module, nodejs. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What I say?
Understood.
Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. But
Yeah.
you can understand me or not?
Yes. So TypeScript, we need to install TypeScript compiler, and any TypeScript code, it will be compiled using TypeScript compiler, and then it will be run using Angular.
With the Angular environment. This is not Angular environment. Actually, once we compile our TypeScript code, that TypeScript code compiled into the JavaScript, and that JavaScript actually running on the compiler, running on the Node.js platform or browser also.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, thing is, if we writing any kind of variable, like if we are using variable like this name, okay, and this name should be string, right? This name should be
Yes.
string. So if I using it, then it will be app, and version maybe number. Okay, so this kind of data types I just using here, and without any kind of function, without any kind of class, we can directly create the variables, and after that we can calling it directly in our uh, console. Is it possible?
Okay.
Is it possible any native programming language?
No, not possible.
Because if we are using C or Java or .NET, whatever we can use, so that time this kind of things is not possible. But this kind of process is possible only scripting language. Understood?
Yeah.
Which is the scripting language? JavaScript is the scripting language, TypeScript is the scripting language, Python is a scripting language, PHP is a scripting language, Ruby is the scripting language. So many languages are here, which is our scripting language.
Okay.
And that scripting language always running directly by code.
Okay.
So for that purpose, it's called just-in-time compiler. That's mean we are compile our code on runtime.
Okay.
Okay, but basically this is not just-in-time compiler, because mostly our code compiled first, and then we can run our code through the JavaScript actually. So basically this particular syntax is come from JavaScript syntax, but when we are using the data types here, so that means it's converted into TypeScript. Okay,
Okay.
and sometime we can use other type of data, like app version and features. Okay, and this time I don't know what kind of features I can be listed here. So for that particular purpose, we can use this kind of option, like any or any array, whatever. And if we are using any or any array, so then we can use number, boolean, and so many things we can use. here
Okay.
directly. Actually not boolean. Here we can use true or false, whatever we want. So this kind of things we can use if we don't know what kind of data types we can be use here, because
Okay.
here I am using any. So some data is string, some data is number, some data is boolean, and overall the data is array. So we can set any kind of data. So for that particular times it's called any. But when we wanted to run it, so just I save this file, and after that I wanted, if you want to run it, then right click over this file, over this folder, not over this file, over this folder or file also you can, if you want. So over this file, and then you just tsc with file name, just write that file name, and once you write, then I get some kind of issues. So this issue, actually problem is, this is the compiler issue. It is not a JavaScript runtime issue. It is a compiler issue. Means in the compiler, in the TypeScript compiler, have lib.dom.d.ts, where name is sometimes this variable is already blocked, already declared by the this particular files. But also this file already compiled also. So actually thing is, this file is compiled, but sometimes we can see this kind of issue. Okay.
Okay.
So if we want to fix this problem, so we can rename it with any particular data types, then we cannot get any kind of issues after using this. But once we are compiling it, after that we can see every type of data types are gone after compilation, because JavaScript does not require any type data types.
Yes.
But when we write TypeScript language, so that time TypeScript wanted to ensure the data types actually. So for that
Okay.
particular purpose, we can use this data types. Otherwise, does not required. And once our code is compiled with the JavaScript, then we can run it with the JavaScript. So now main dot ts, sorry, not ts, js. Uh, okay, okay. Problem is this here. Here is the problem, because name variable was not used there. Now we can see the output, name our versions, whatever we want, that and type of output we can get it from here. But how can implement our applications when we wanted to record to create any app? So basically this is the data type process, but once we are create the data types, then we can use the function 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 directly, and here we can create the function name as main, right? If we want to create the function name, and then we can declare the that function data like this way. And if we are using this, so now you can see, you can notice this TypeScript file does not complaining anything about when I using this kind of data type or data process
Mm.
directly,
Yes.
because basically thing is, uh, this time if we want to get notified here data types is not declared, so we need more setup to understand or complaining for data types. But this time this kind of data process is not considering actually. So most of the times we are actually set up it with the data types in the TypeScript with the number and uh, const with the any. But when we are declaring it like this way, but after this these functions need to be called, otherwise we cannot get output from these particular files. So how it possible? So first thing, we need to be compile this file tsc main dot ts, and after this we can use our run our code directly. So first it compiled, then it run. Okay, so this is the code which is called compile and run.
Okay.
Okay, so once it created, so this is the actually structure which is the created. But how can create the javascript functions type? So javascript functions type, if we want to declare, so then we are using the colon uh, behind the function name, and then we can be use the function type after this um, colon. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the function declaration process. Now I just wanted to continue the last part, which where we are actually talk about the javascript object oriented programming. So just I copy this part, and now today I wanted to create a javascript process step by step. Okay, so
Okay.
now mm, now I want to create a object oriented programming manners.
Okay.
I create a class named car, and it is a school level programming, but it's necessary to understand when we are working on object oriented programming. I think you know about this.
Yeah.
So may I repeat again, or I leave? I can leave it.
You can leave it, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's almost similar things you already know.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically thing is which you are not knowing, you do not know about the things, like function is the most important when we are working in the javascript or typescript. So I most of the things I talk about the javascript. Okay, object oriented
Okay.
part you already know about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have any understanding issues in interface or abstract class, so then we can I can talk about that. But
Okay.
basic object oriented programming, I think you already know about that very much
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, so thing is I just uh, talk about today mainly functions, because in the javascript or typescript functions is most important part. Okay, so how many functions actually here we have already in the programming language? Can you say me
How many?
how many types of functions have in programming language?
Not sure.
Methods,
Okay.
how many methods or functions? Almost both are same, right?
Mm,
Same or
so
different? Same.
methods, function can return value.
Hmm.
Methods cannot.
Why methods does not return value any?
Not sure.
Okay, actually I wanted to check your knowledge when I
Okay.
train you. So for that particular reason I asking you what things you are
Okay.
know, what things you are not, then
No any.
I
Okay.
can be sure what knowledge you have, and how can you, how can I train you to
Okay.
get properly? So
Okay.
for that purpose, I just asking how many types of functions you know about. How many functions are, have? How many types of function have in programming languages? Know about void?
Yes, yes, okay. Why do I know?
What is the void function?
It do not return anything.
It's not returning anything. That means
Yeah,
number one, void,
yeah,
right? That means
yeah.
it's not void function. It's not returning, no return type,
Mm, mm, mm. Yes.
no return value. Second was return type, right?
Uh, any scalar value, integer or
Yes, but when we are using the return type, so that means we can use any kind of return types like
any type of return type. Okay.
with the return type,
Mm,
return value, and return
yeah.
value may be string, number, boolean, whatever,
Mm, mm,
object, array. This kind of data types can be written from the return types
mm, mm.
function, right?
Yes.
And any more function?
Mm, no, no idea.
When we are creating any kind of functions, so every function should have parameterized and non-parameterized,
Mm,
right?
mm,
That
mm,
means
mm.
we can use functions with arguments, without arguments, right?
Yes.
If we are using any with arguments, so that means there must be, when we are using that function, that time we must be use the uh, value for that argument, right?
Mm, yes.
So that means parameterized arguments are binded with the values.
Yes.
But if we don't want to put any value in the arguments, so that can be possible.
Null.
If we are create a function, but that particular function I have not used that function. When I use that function, so that time I am not using the parameter. So this is that is possible to calling that function.
Mm,
Is
depends, right? If the parameter
actually
is
I
used or
think
not used.
you cannot understand my question actually.
Mm,
Number one is void function. Okay,
mm,
so I just simply declare a function, and name is info. Okay, so this is the default function,
mm,
and
mm,
this is the void function that and here we can get the output directly, but we are not getting any output. uh, this function not returning any data
mm,
through the into the other variable or other things. So if I want to calling it, so that means if I calling this function here, so that means basically this is the void function, it is also void function, and after all
mm,
this particular functions are calling here, and if I
mm,
write here, so then we can see the output, right?
mm.
But here if I using the name of this particular function as string, and if I use the version as number, then we must need to use this particular parameter, right?
Mm.
And once I write this function, and after that if we are not using the parameter, so then we can get the problem.
We cannot. No, it will throw error.
I asking you this question actually. If I
Yeah, yeah.
if I
It cannot.
using argument, then we cannot using without data this function when I use this
Yes.
function. So without
We will not be.
without parameter, without value, we are not using that function, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
app 2 and version is 2. If I return here, then our problem can be solved here
Yes.
for output. But
Yes.
if we don't want to use this data here, so how can possible? Because sometimes I don't want to set the data. So how it possible?
Default value.
With the default value. Mm, okay, so with the default value like, but I want to, I don't want to use this particular parameter here. So if I don't want to use that parameter value, so
Optional.
then uh, if we are using this question mark, so that means it is the optional parameter. That means this parameter value not required really.
Okay.
So if we are not using the parameter value, that means here we need to be use some value which can be used here. Use here alternate. Okay, so that basically means is if we have no value here, then we can use it like this.
Okay.
That means if we have data, then we can get the value here. If it is not, then we can get 0. And basically this syntax meaning is here or, right? This is the or sign of
Yes.
JavaScript. And once we write it, after that, this is the one value is missing, and if we are using this particular version property, and then we can get the output. Okay, so these two kind of property is there. But if we want to use the version name first, that means we want to use version value first and name value second, is possible?
No.
Why not?
It's positional.
Hmm?
Positional. Position.
Positional. Basically it is a positional parameter. So for that's why it's does not working properly, right?
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
is positional property. But if I say like this, name and version, and after that I just simply declaring it like this, then it is possible. This is the function where first part is the actually structure. This is called structure. Okay, this is called structure, and this structure definition is here. Okay, so basically name using here, version using here. So that means if we set up any value, so that time we need to be use that value. Like version we can use like this, and also we can use the data types like app like this, and after that we can get the value output with this way.
Okay.
Did you remember what where we are using this kind of function in the Angular? Do you have remember what where we are using this kind of function in Angular?
Uh, the
You did
TS
not.
file.
uh,
Amp name,
app component.
app
in
component.
in the app component, uh, where we are using the component decorators. So this is the component decorator function,
Select the
and this particular part are actually getting the value with the index parameter. Basically this is this
yes,
called kind of index parameter, right?
yes, yes.
But how it possible to create this kind of index parameter, why and how it work? Basically thing is, when we are declaring this particular types, these types actually called as in the TypeScript language called as interface, INTR interface. And here this interface have two data types, okay, which is are actually declaring here info.
Okay,
So this is the data types which are created, and when we are created inline, that time that was the this is the way which is the inline declarations. But if we don't want to use it inline declaration, so that time we can use it like this.
okay,
Okay, basically thing is, this particular interface does not actually generated into the JavaScript file. It's just a uh, it's just a reference point. How it what is
okay,
this actually? Just I compile it once, and then we just go to the open the main file, and you can see we did not see the info class, sorry, info interface uh, class here. Do we see anything?
no, no,
Just we see the name and version here, but when we get that value, so underscore a means that interface are gone, that interface are not actually available into the final output, right?
yeah,
So basically interface is the reference point which kind of data types we can be used in our code, and that code actually represent by the interface.
okay,
Okay, so this is the actually uses in TypeScript for interface. Okay,
okay, okay,
but actually thing is, if we use it as info as object, so this is the info object. Okay,
okay,
we are using it also as info object. If we are using info object, then we can use it also like this. If I using this
okay,
process, so our input types is same, but our writing part is different.
okay,
Now once again I running the code, and after that we can see the output. So see, this is the process where info is a parameter and info dot name is the value, uh, one value, and another value is the info dot version. Understood?
okay, yeah,
So, so this is the parameter which is are mostly uses into the uh, TypeScript. So this is the function or declaration process, and another is the return type. So if we are using the return type, second return type, and return type should have info like this. So I just info 2 we can use, and we can also return the data with the return syntax. And once we use the return syntax, so must be here using string. So for that particular purpose we can see the output with the string, right?
okay, okay,
But if we are using it number or whatever, if we want, so this is not possible. But we can number or string, we can use it like this way also. So these functions have possibilities get value by number or string also. So we can use both kind of data output from this function is possible.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the return type function, and this return type functions, uh, uh, if we want to use, so we must have to store that data into another variable, and that variable data can be present into the console dot out console dot log with the accessing point.
Okay.
So this is the output options where we can be use it. Understood?
Sorry, I missed that. Can you
Can you understand this particular function?
Yes.
But another function.
Understand.
Mm. Here we can see two type of functions mainly. One is the return type, another is one is the non-return type, another is the return type. But third function is not parameterized. Actually, third functions I call it as anonymous function. Anonymous function, and it's also it's also called uh, expression type function. It's also uh, it's called like this, and another function can call callback, and after that we can use another function called arrow function, and then number 6 is the promise function. Promise promise function. So this kind of functions in available into the JavaScript, and sometimes you in your program also can be there. Okay,
Okay.
so what is the anonymous function? Can you say me what is the
No,
anonymous
sir.
function?
No.
Anonymous function basically is where we are not declaring any function name, but that working as function. How it possible? Let's see. Here I just simply use a function name. Actually, I just use a function like this. Okay, just like this.
Okay.
I just using the function like this, and I just call it log anonymous function. Okay, so this is the function where we just get void data types. Okay, but basically thing is actually anonymous function, how we to call, just I call it like this function anonymous. Okay, so basically I just calling it like with the variable name, that means here is the function, and then after that we can use the function name. But here I just declaring the variable name, and then we can use the function name. So basically this is the part where I just using the function syntax after the equal sign, and this is the function which can be called as anonymous. Okay,
Okay.
and this function can be executed like this. So this can be executed. Okay,
Okay.
so that means anonymous function can get out the data by the value. So
Okay.
why we need to use it? Why need to use it? Why need to use this function? I think you don't know. But can you try why we can use this function? You try to think about this. Why can we use it? No idea, I think. So basically thing is, when we are using callback function, that time this anonymous function is most valuable function. What is
Okay.
the thing?
How?
What is the thinking and how it work? So basically, just I use the simple function, say hello, okay, and I just passing a name string, okay, and then I just using a function called callback, okay, with this particular thing. So this is the function. So you say me this particular function can give us the return.
No, it calls itself.
It's call itself. How? This function, if I calling here after this anonymous function, joy, if I calling it, then we need to use another name, then we can use this kind of output. But we just use this output with this particular syntax, okay. So that means we are using it. So how can get output? Just like this, hello joy. Actually don't confuse this particular syntax. I just using the function like this, and we can use it after this. So basically this particular function called anonymous function, basically this is the anonymous function which is are using here,
Okay.
okay. So this that anonymous function, if we passing the value, if we are passing the value by val value like this, and after that we can use that value in this output, okay, in this output if we are using. So this is the function output, and this anonymous function can be declared, can this time it's not working, that function can be used like this as parameter.
Okay.
So that anonymous function can be used here, and we can see the output as previous.
Okay.
We can also another name like Vijay. Okay, so this is the this particular function called callback function, callback mostly. Basically thing is, this is the main function where we are passing some parameters, and uh, last parameters sometimes it's callback, and that's callback are actually uses for get the data from that particular functions, and after that we can get the return from that data,
Okay.
okay. So this is the way of where we can get the value from the anonymous using the callback functions.
Okay.
But we are also seen some this type of process. When we are using this particular syntax without using this function syntax, actually here we are using the function syntax. If we don't want to use the function syntax, so that time we can use the arrow replacement with the function syntax. If we don't want to use the function syntax, so that time we can use this arrow syntax to use the function actually, and we can also get the output directly from here as previous we see. Do you have any questions about this?
No, no, sir.
But
So these
why?
are all the different functions.
Hmm. Hmm?
These are all the different functions.
These were all of the difference function, but why we need this function? Why we need these functions?
The
If
different
if these functions are here, so that means these functions have some needs,
purpose.
some purpose have here. So that's why these functions are available here, right?
Yes.
Because without a requirement, this type of functions does not have here. We don't need to use it here if have no purpose, right?
Yeah.
So basically thing is JavaScript is the synchronous programming language.
Okay.
That means if our if our website is running and data is coming from the file or any other website, so that means that time one line is not actually executing, so next line not be execute after that line. That means line number is not finishing that particular line works. We cannot see next line without completing the first one, right?
Okay.
That was the asynchronous way. But synchronous way is without completions of the first line code, generate all the lines of code uh, as soon as possible without any uh, completion. They don't focus on completion, they actually focus on calling as soon as possible in the all programs quickly.
Okay.
So basically thing is here have some issue, because if our program does not stay for get response the data from the another websites, basically it's used mostly for the API consumption process, API consumption purpose. So if you want to work with the APIs, web APIs, so when you send the request to the server endpoint or application endpoint, so that data that application actually gives some times to generate the data from the server side. So there have some microseconds or seconds gap to get that data, but JavaScript don't want it to stay to receive that data. JavaScript don't like that. So basically JavaScript quickly executed everything without completion the code. This is the problem of JavaScript.
Okay.
Okay, so basically if your code is not compiled, basically where server side is stucking, basically if your data is not generating properly, your web page not be visible in the browser, right? Hello.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay. So actually, what I wanted to say, if our data is not, uh, if our data uh, is not getting from the server, so how it possible to put the data when data is received from the server side? Understand the problem?
Not, yes, understand.
What is the problem? Can you say me? What do
Yes,
you
data
understand?
is not received from server.
Mm-hmm.
How to handle that?
Then it is handled. But problem is, if when server side is working and server side uh, is their pre-processor not completing their task, they cannot generate any UI without complete their process, right? It was the mainly problem of server side application.
Yeah.
Basically, server side are mostly focused to process all the things fast, then they can be generate the final part of UI, right?
Yes.
But in the client side, they are not they don't want to stay to completion all the data from the backside. They
Yes.
don't want to stay for that. Basically, it
Hmm.
is the nature of users also. So
Hmm.
just visit your website, and if they cannot see the any proper data, they cannot stay to generate your data for your website. They can be
Yes.
switched out from your website. So basically, here is the problem. So that problem are solved by the callback options, and I will be talk about it later, because this callback and promise, these two functions are mostly imported into the JavaScript and TypeScript also, and as well as current or modern app development is very much necessary. These three things: callback, arrow
Oh,
function, and promise, very much important for every modern programming language like uh, JavaScript, Python, PHP. Sometimes it's same working in .NET or Java also, because this is the latest problem and latest things which is are covered every programming language. But once you understand the process why these things are actually worked, then you can understood it very easily. Okay,
okay.
so in the next class we can talk it,
Yeah.
because your time is almost over. You need to go somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will send the video. You just
Okay.
try it, and I give you the some learning process. You
Okay.
learn about some JavaScript things from this website link.
Okay.
I just share the link. This is too much important, uh,
Okay.
because when you learn about the TypeScript, JavaScript also important to learn for
Okay.
the JavaScript. Okay, so you also read from here about the JavaScript, and I also discuss about other thing also. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so can you disconnect now?
Yes, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
so next class Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
bye now.